everyone to our weekly IG Live. My name is Michael, and I'm going to be speaking to you all with Samira tonight. Hi, everyone. Hi, Luna. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining. And you're just in time because we are just getting started. And tonight we are going to be talking about the new year. And tonight's going to be a little bit different because Samira and I have planned out a couple, I would call them thought-provoking exercises that we're going to ask you to join in with us. We are going to do them here for you live, and you're welcome to participate and put it in the comments, or just do it on your own. You can write it down, or you can just ask yourself in your head, okay? Privately. All right, so first of all, let's just, before we get into it, let's just talk about 2020, right? It was a challenging year for all of us, and we all had different challenges. For sure, I know for me, it brought a lot of uncertainty, a lot of challenges in terms of work, in terms of my school, definitely going from in person to 100% online. And for my family too, not being able to see my family, especially over all the holidays. And we really felt that with my family that lives out of town, because that's normally when we get together with them. And in this case, we couldn't. So it was really different, and there was a lot of challenges that I had to work through, some new and some maybe things I was already dealing with that just made it a little bit harder. So yeah, that's
I
a little bit
definitely
of,
agree.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I definitely agree. This past year, I think for all of us has just been so difficult. And there have been just so many different things that have happened in the span of 1 year. I feel like we've lived out 5 years in one. So I definitely agree that just personally from the start of the year, I noticed like so many of my own challenges, which things that I thought I had kind of a good hold on or I was doing pretty well in. Some of that really came back and it hit me. And it really kind of made me actually learn and relearn a lot of the coping tools I used to use before.
Yeah.
So, I would say, I would ask you, Michael, actually, what is the most challenging part of what has it been for you?
For me, it was the fact that I couldn't do a lot of the things that I would normally do outside of my house or my little bubble here that would typically bring my mood up, or that I would use as a coping strategy. So, for example, a hobby that I'm really passionate about is salsa dancing. I'm a dancer, and obviously that was a big no-no because just everything in that whole world just stopped all of a sudden, and that was like a really important outlet for me, and I was doing that a lot, and then all of a sudden I couldn't. So when I would have a bad day, whereas typically I would go out, see people I knew, go dancing, I just couldn't do that anymore. So
Mhm.
with that being said, the challenge was, okay, well, now what? Like,
Yeah.
like I needed to find something different to kind of fill that, I don't want to say void, but to make up for it, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm there with you on that, especially. I'm someone who just really loves being outdoors, and not just outdoors. I'm a very like social person. I need to see my friends at least once a week,
Yes.
be doing something constantly. And with COVID, it just kind of made everyone stop still for a moment and then be inside, indoors, and when you're indoors for that long with your own thoughts, it can be challenging in itself as well. So, and one of my favorite hobbies is traveling. I
Mm,
just
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I somehow manage to plan a trip every now and then. And with COVID, it definitely everything stopped. So when I look back at my year, it's definitely not being able to see friends, seeing my family, and just being in one place for a while. And how did you kind of, what would you say then would be the best part of your year then?
The best part of my year would have to be that I learned a lot about myself and how resilient I can be, especially times when I was really struggling. And I really had to be creative and come up with new ways to cope and to kind of deal with whatever it was that was going on at the time. So probably that was a big positive for me, was, figuring out or realizing how resilient that I can be.
That's a really great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I think when I look back at this year, one thing I've noticed, I've been doing a lot more of just shifting to phone calls. I
Mm,
could be spending hours on the phone, and I realized how much energy that just gives me in that moment. And also, gratitude has been a huge thing. I
mm,
noticed how much I was complaining last year every day. It was like, this is such a bad day. And I always started off with that. But now I'm noticing that just by gratituding daily, it's really helped me kind of reframe my mind to the positives.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. I definitely 100% can agree with you on that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so I also want to
yeah.
just give a disclaimer to all the audience watching right now. If you have any questions that you want to ask, we're currently talking about just the past year and how we've coped with it, and also what we're going into the new year with, the attitudes or coping tools or just strategies to tackle it on. But yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like you never like, it's sometimes difficult to come up with positives for 2020, but there's definitely like several of them that I can think of reflecting back. So while we continue on that, I'm going to ask everyone watching, maybe think of something positive that came out of last year. If you feel comfortable sharing, please do so. We would love to hear what a positive for you was from 2020. I know for sure for me, again, like I said, it was learning about myself, um, really taking the time to kind of reflect on some of the things that I was doing, some of my commitments, some of the things that I really wanted to continue doing, some new things that I wanted to try, and some things where I was like, maybe, I don't really want to do this anymore. And I found it really took like that period to almost allow me to do that, because I'm the type of person where um, I'm just like a go, go, go. And if I don't take the time to like stop and reflect, then I'll just kind of like stick with it and go with the motions and and stuff like that. So that was really important for me.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's such a good lesson to kind of take into it. Um, but yeah, I would, what's kind of been, if you could put in words just a lesson that you would, I guess, sum up your year with, what would you tell people?
hmm, a lesson that I would sum up my year with. That's a good question. You know what? Give me a minute to think about that. While I do that, talk about your lesson and then come back to me.
All right, I'll kind of I'll put some of the lessons. I think one I learned was patience. Patience is just key. I am not the most patient person. I'm always at a go. And this year, by pausing for a moment, I realized how much I wanted to go. And it's really helped me, like things like meditation have helped me kind of be still and learn that it's okay, things will happen in time. We have some really great comments here. From the question. So we have this past year allowed me to work from home, which also allowed me more time with my family and me and my family. That's a really amazing one, Diana. I love that because I agree as well. Like this past year, the biggest positive for me has also been just family time. Um,
Yeah, like along with that, something that my mom actually brought up, which I didn't really think about until she said it, but she was absolutely right. You know, I'm in my 20s, my sister is also in her 20s, and we have our own social circles. And so she was saying, like, never before since we were like little kids have we had so many family meals together. Because like, excuse me, we're just always out doing our own thing. And so she just mentioned how nice it was to kind of like be together on like a regular basis. So yeah, going along with what Diana said, and I can relate because I've been working from home. So yeah, if you've been working from home, definitely share what that's been like for you. For me, it's been very different. It's nice to spend time with my family, but I'm also introverted, so sometimes they drive me a little crazy, and I need a break, so I'll go for a walk or something. But yeah, it's definitely nice being home for work and school because my commute is like 30 seconds, which is kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm extroverted and I still find it hard at times.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So imagine me. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's different.
Uh,
It's nice, but different.
Yeah, I love that. We have another comment, which is how much our world can come together. And I think that's a really beautiful one. Just seeing all the things that have been happening around us, ways in which communities are helping each other. So it's really awesome to see.
For sure. Yeah, love that. Okay, cool. So now I think we're gonna go through a little bit of a guided activity, if that's okay. So I'm gonna take the lead on this one. And I'm going to ask everyone to just have an open mind and follow the instructions. You're welcome to participate by replying in the chat or just doing it on your own. But bear with me for 1 second and I will explain. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to light a candle. Okay, so I have a candle lit in front of me. And I'm going to ask you, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. If your eyes are closed, imagine you're looking at a candle that's lit with a flame. If your eyes are open, just pay attention to the candle that's on the screen. So I want you to just take a second, feel your body. You're sitting here. You might want to place your feet on the ground, knowing that you're grounded, you're connected. You're connected to the earth, and your feet is that point of connection on that flat surface. You might want to feel the chair you're sitting on, the couch you're sitting on, and how that's connected as well. So you are connected to everything around you. Now, just take a second, reflect back to 2020. Maybe there were some challenges there for you that weren't there before. Maybe 2020 made the challenges that you already had a little bit harder. So now I'm going to ask you to think of something that came up for you last year in 2020, or something that got a little harder for you last year that you want to get rid of, something that you don't want to carry into the new year. Now, keep in mind, this has to be something that you own. So something about you. It can't be something like all the mean people I want to get rid of. It doesn't work like that. So I'll give my example. So when I did this exercise, what I wanted to get rid of from 2020 is feeling like I was not good enough. And I didn't want to carry that into the new year because it was not helpful for me. So once you have that, I want you to think about it in your head, hold it in front of you, and if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. Whatever you thought of is this candle. Now on the count of 3, I'm going to blow it out. Okay? Samira, count me down.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Poof. So imagine whatever you didn't want to take with you is now gone. Now that that's gone, to replace it, what might you want to invite in to your life for the new year, 2021? You're welcome to share with us in the chat. I'd be happy to share with you right now. For me, what I want to invite in is confidence, is believing in myself and knowing that I am enough and I am powerful just the way I am. So that's something that I want to invite in. And a good way to keep this in mind is to make a mantra about this. So mine could be something like, I'm committing to reminding myself of my strength and my confidence. So this is something that you can commit to and that you can actively work towards. Okay. Thank you, Diana, for sharing. I welcome more confidence. Yes, I love that. I can relate. Now, this was a really quick, simple exercise. When I did this, it was guided. Oh, there we go. I'm back. When I did this, it was guided, and what we were asked to do is keep our eyes closed and get our body really tense and relax. So if you want to explore this a little bit, I definitely recommend you trying that. But what we want to picture here is something that we want to breathe out or expel from 2020 and something that we want to invite in for 2021. Just a little visual there to help us.
That for me, it was definitely, there was a lot of loss in 2020, a lot of illness. So for me, it was a lot of just understanding that it's okay. It's okay to feel grief and sadness, but also bringing in strength and letting out that feeling of vulnerability and weakness or feeling helpless. That's the word.
That was actually, now that you said that, that was a really important acknowledgement for me. Is, you know what, just taking a minute and saying to myself, last year was tough. It was a tough year. So, and you know what, it was weird because I never actually really gave myself like a break, saying that you know what, like it was rough. Like it's okay that you know, you may have felt like that, and it's true, right? It was tough, and that can mean so many different things to so many different people, but just kind of acknowledging that and making it okay that, you know, we struggle a little bit, you know, and that's something that almost all of us can relate to, I'm sure, right?
We can definitely accept what's happening around us, but it's those moments where I just have to remind myself that it's COVID right now. We're in a pandemic. The world is not how it used to be. So it's
Hmm.
okay if you're having an off day or if you're feeling a little extra upset at times.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. Exactly. That's true too, right? You know, there's some days where they're it's not gonna feel good. Like you might feel crappy some days. Like it's just the way it is, right? Um, Someone says, we have a comment, I would like to let go of trying to control things. Things will happen that are out of our control. That's right.
I absolutely love that. That is control is such a big thing, and learning that is a huge step towards just a lot of growth internally.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I really love that comment.
Yeah. And Muriel, if you're comfortable sharing, I would like to know, since you want to let go of the feeling of trying to control everything, what do you want to replace it with going into the new year instead of trying to control everything? Okay, awesome. So we're going to end this segment and we're going to pivot a little bit and talk about some positive coping strategies for the new year and some grounding techniques and goal setting. So Samira is going to start on that one, if you don't mind, Samira.
I uh, think you're back. But we have a comment over here.
Yeah.
So letting go of trying to control ultimately helps us feel more in control. And that's a really amazing comment and suggestion, Una, because a lot of that acceptance, I think, is a part of that journey of lose lessening the control and feeling that in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but now for the next part, we're just going to look into kind of ways to deal with the new year and ways to go into it. Maybe the attitude you want to face the new year is something that you want to focus on, or it could be certain goals. I know it's really popular to do New Year resolutions, and we're also going to talk about why some of these resolutions may not work out all the times and ways to kind of stick to your goals or make them a little more specific to help you through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start off by asking you, Michael, and everyone in the audience watching right now, what are maybe two of your main goals this year?
Good question. Um, my first goal is to look for possibilities. I know it's kind of like a big one, but instead of like, I really want to try, instead of focusing on, all the things I can't do, to kind of, ask myself, well, what are the things I can do? Like, what am I able and interested in maybe inviting into my life, trying, taking on. So that's a big one for me going into the new year for sure.
I love that. I think my goal as well really goes in with that. Yours is possibilities. Mine, I actually wrote it down for myself, which is make more experiences each week. Find a way
Mm,
to really create those little moments, and it doesn't have to be something big. It could be literally just a small moment, but that having that more regularly in my life.
yes, 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 yes. That's a good one. I like that actually because, you know, those like little moments. Doesn't have to be anything huge, right? For it to be like a positive experience. I like it. I like it. If anyone has any of their own goals that they might want to share in the new year, it could be a new year resolution, it could be a physical goal, a mental goal, something in your school, in your work. Um, please
So
let us know. Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone has a goal, we can also help you make it more specific and tell you strategies on how to make it a more achievable goal. So you come out the next year and you say that New Year resolutions aren't something that just dwindle away from the start of the year. So oh, we have two goals here. So the first goal is making people in my life feel appreciated. Absolutely love that. And appreciating myself. So self-love, also such a great goal. Um, so for this, I actually want to challenge you to think of a way to make it specific. So making people in my life feel appreciated is a great goal, and even for yourself. I don't know if you have heard of the technique. It's called SMART goals. So you want to make your goals as specific as possible so you know exactly what to do to make the people in your life feel appreciated. And then you also want to make it something that you can measure. So something that you know that, okay, I can do it. Maybe I'm going to do something nice once a day. Tell someone something nice once a day. And following that, the A stands for just making it something that is appropriate, relevant in your life, something that you can achieve. So it's something a little realistic. And R is for relevance, so something very relevant to your goal. And the T is time limited. Yeah, so you use it at work. So I use SMART goals all the time to kind of help me with some of these main goals that I'm doing. So that's a really great way that you can take a goal that you have for the new year and you really just visualize it and create that, like make it happen in your life. And I would say if you don't want to go through kind of the 5 steps, you can also do something which is visualizing yourself achieving the goal and seeing what you're going to feel, what the steps that you need to take to achieve it. So those are some really cool ways that you
Nice,
can do it.
nice. So I just want to explain a comment I put in the chat as Samira was talking about, uh, making experiences. It reminded me of a book I read, I think last year, maybe a couple years ago. I don't know, but I put in the comments. It's called The Front Row Factor by John Vroman, and it's really interesting. He started a charity where he calls it, they specialize in the art of moment making. So people who, maybe suffering from a severe illness, he would organize like, something that they've always wanted to do, kind of like Make a Wish. And the book is all about like perspectives on life and looking at the positives and living life to the fullest, and all the testimonials from these people who were part of this, and all the recipients. So if you're interested, check it out. It's a really good book. Yeah.
I love that. We have another comment here. So it says, my advice is for people to, wait, sorry, let me just read that. My advice to people as a goal is don't be afraid to acknowledge your skills, confidence. So that is a huge one, just not underestimating yourself and believing that you can achieve it is such an important thing. Um, but yeah, and I wanted to talk about another thing that I really use to help me achieve my goals is um, for example, for the appreciating things in your life, I use a gratitude journal and I actually have it with me. It's called a gratitude sidekick. And it just has the most simplest prompts every day, and it gets you to kind of think of things from a different perspective. And that's something I find a lot of journals can be really helpful for crafting that mindset and helping you from the start of the year. We have another comment here which says, I'm not trying to control, but the need to feel in control. I've started meditating and listening to podcasts and accepting supports.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, Muriel. Those are really amazing resources that you can use, and especially accepting support. I feel like that's something that it's hard to do for a lot of people. Is if you're an independent person like I am, I like to have my things a certain way, and so for that, realizing sometimes that you need more than yourself at times and you need that person to just turn to is a huge part of it as well. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. That's an important one.
and I want to turn to you, Michael. What are
Mm-hmm.
some things that you've been using in this new year to kind of keep you on track or kind of get it started the right way?
Yeah, so going along with what Samara was saying, I also like to journal, and I have it in front of me, so I will show it. It's called The 5 Second Journal by Mel Robbins, and I love it. It gives a bunch of different prompts for different things, and it's really quick to fill out, which I like because it's quick and easy. And you can buy the book, and it's actually also free. So they give a free template online, and when I have a second, I will put the website in the comments. But I use this to kind of ground myself for my day, and to also make sure I'm doing something small when it comes to my goal. So I'm not just like going about the day, um, and I'm making sure that I'm actually intentional with it and scheduling time in there for it. Diana had a really great comment. I want to read it. It's a gratitude jar. Get a mason jar, and every time you do something good for yourself or others, write it down, fold it, and put it in the jar. And at the end of the year, read all of your papers. Honestly, that's something that I may do this year. I think I saw that a long time ago, and I always thought it was a great idea. So I might do that and include like happy memories or things like that. But yeah, love that, Diana.
Kind of
If
gratitude as well.
yeah, if you end up doing it, let me know how it goes. I'd be curious.
I'd love to see that jar at the end, Diana.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, I remember doing post-it notes one year. So I would do one post-it note for each week and kind of sum up gratitudes for the whole week.
Mm, that's a good
Um,
idea. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, and I want to ask another question, which is, what is your go-to way that you kind of ground yourself, reduce anxiety, or just kind of be in the moment at times? I know that this year we're going in with a lot of things from last year, but there may be moments where there's more anxiety and there's more uncertainty. So uh,
Hmm.
that would be super helpful.
Yeah, yeah. So this can be a question to any of you that are watching us right now. Please share. But in the meantime, I will answer. For me, two things is I'll take the time to exercise, and it's been so important for my mental health. I won't go into it too much, but take a look a couple of IG lives back. We spent a whole hour talking about it with one of my really good friends. So check it out. The importance of mental health and fitness. But I find that really grounds me because you really have to be in the moment when you're exercising, because if you're not, you're going to hurt yourself. So it kind of forces you to be present, which which I really like. And the second thing is I just find time to get outside. If it's something active, something adventurous, like going for a hike. I know where we have our cottage. We live right across the street from a Nordic ski club, which is like cross country skiing. So they have a bunch of trails there. So we did that a few times, which is really nice. And I always bring my dog because she just loves loves the outside, and that really grounds me too because it's a change of environment, gets you out of the house, breathing some fresh air. It gets you moving, and we know as soon as we move, it changes our body chemistry. So yeah, those have been my two biggest things, I think, especially now in the winter when there's not really a lot you can do, right?
Sure. That's a really good tip, especially the movement. It's something that I think everyone, like, you don't have to be very much into fitness to involve movement into your
Mm-hmm.
life, and
Of course.
it changes so much in your attitude daily. That's something I use as well, is just I've actually never liked walking. I like hiking.
Mm.
So I don't like hiking. I don't like walking to the grocery store, but I love hiking in like nature. But
Yeah.
that's something that I've kind of this year, I'm just like, okay, this is actually really helpful for me and it makes me feel good. It's just walking for a bit. And so I agree with you on that. And another way that I really try to ground myself is just at moments, just taking a deep breath if it's very quick and doing like the five senses,
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of like takes your mind to those places using your five senses to ground. And also talking to someone, because like for me, the best support would be just talking to a friend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Una also agreed with you on that one. Sumaira is, taking a quick pause, taking a deep breath. Diana says watching Netflix series has been a great stress reliever. Yes, there are some really good shows right now and movies. I am guilty of that as well. But yeah, for sure, it can be a great stress reliever because it kind of brings yourself out of your world and kind of lets you go into something else, which is whatever you're watching. So
Yeah. Well, you know me, I love Netflix and also my reality shows.
yes, me too. Yeah, um, yeah. It's funny for a little bit of an aside for those of you who don't know. Samara and I like the same shows, so we always are gossiping about it. And I know she watches the show the day after, so I can't spoil anything for her. But then I'll text her in all caps. Tell me when you watch the episode. And yeah, so it's just a funny little moment for
Yeah,
you all. Yeah.
those are some, yeah, those are some really great 90 Day Fiance. Yes.
Yeah.
I love watching the memes actually that come out after
Oh my
the
gosh.
best.
Yeah.
So for 90 Day Fiance and Bachelorette.
Yeah. Although I have to be careful because I don't want to see anything that spoils it. So I try and stay off those accounts as much as I can. But yeah, anyways, bringing it back, yes, watching a show or a movie can definitely be a form of stress relief. Um, and with that being said, what are some ways that you might get out of the monotony of quarantining? If you feel like you're doing the same thing every day, or you feel like there's nothing to do, or you're really bored, and you're not sure really how you can invite something different. What would you suggest? What would you do?
For this, getting creative is a really great way you can do it.
Mm,
Like that gratitude jar, you can also have a jar of just like really simple activities that you can do at home.
mm,
Things like paint night or watching a scary movie together. You can write little pieces of paper and put it in there, and maybe once a week pick one out, or whenever you really feel like you need it. Those are some ways that for me, like every week, I have a planner. So in my planner, I write down things that might help me just ease with that monotony. So yeah, I would say really get creative and think of the things that you can use in your house to help you get those experiences.
Diana had a good point. There's lots of free online courses. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a great option on so many things. Or even you know, if you wanted to get a certificate in something, like now's the time for sure. So yeah,
Everything is
that's good.
online, so
Yeah, yeah, honestly. And if you need any ideas, like Google it, right? Um, that's, you know, I'm sure you'll find a whole bunch of different things that you can kind of try and
yeah, and even for just like every day, I think routines. I know like a lot of you may say like you're not big routine people, you don't like making a list of things to do. But sometimes if you keep the same list and that list only has like 2 or 3 items in it, and the first thing is just like kind of wake up and make a coffee for yourself, like even that gives a little bit of structure to the day and it makes each day feel a bit different than the last. So that's something you could try out in the new year.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point, and it doesn't have to be anything that's set in stone. Like it could be, you know, I'm trying to find a way to. I was gonna say you could do like unorganized structure. Like it doesn't have to be like your day is planned to the minute, but if you know, wake up, breakfast, something creative, something that gets you moving, right? So at least you know you have somewhat of a structure, and that'll be really helpful to kind of get out of that feeling that you're stuck.
Yeah, those are really, really great ideas once again. And before we end, I just want to ask you one last question,
Mm-hmm.
which is heading on to the new year, what is something you would tell everyone right now that you would do, I guess?
Tell everyone like advice or
It could be anything. It could be motivation. It could be advice. It could be something you're
okay.
going to be doing. Uh,
Huh. That's a good
I
one.
can start
Ooh.
us off
Yeah, I was not ready.
to just kind of
I was not ready for this question. I will be honest. Okay, I would say
pop quiz.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Don't crack under pressure. Um,
I would say, you know, as this might sound a little cheesy, but just remembering that we got through it. Like it is a new year. 2020 is done, and you know, with new year comes new possibilities. So just be open to it.
that's amazing, and
Yeah.
I think that you know it's the new year. It makes you feel so refreshed because you feel like even if it's a day and 2020 was last month, it's like you can just set it aside and think about the present. And I think for me as well, like I would say that just going off of that, every day you can wake up and it's a new day for you. Even if maybe your New Year day didn't go the best, you can always start off the day fresh and you can tackle it on with, a better mindset going on. Um, yeah, so we have a comment. So enjoy 2021 to the max. If we got through 2020, we can get through anything. And yeah, I love that. I would say just keep going, same as everyone has been saying, and to leave it off as you got this. You can do this. This year is your year for everyone that needed to hear that. This is it. But thank you all for joining us. It was really great talking to you all in the new year.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And before we end, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge you all that joined us. We really appreciate it. And to acknowledge YouthSpeak and the organization that we're a part of and the team that really helps us to put on these programs for you all on a regular basis. And be sure to check out our other things that we post on Instagram, some of our other lives, as well as our podcast, Facebook, YouTube. There, we're putting out a bunch of good stuff all the time. So be sure to check it out. And thanks for everyone's continued support.
And you can join us next week, same time.
There we
So,
go. Love it.
yeah, bye.
Awesome. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming.